Hey everybody, welcome back. It's a Saturday. Found some time to record some Isaac. Feeling good. Family's feeling good. That's not how this works. That is not how you're supposed to do the randomizer. One moment, please. I am old. Not really, but old enough to blame a mistake on age instead of just on ineptitude. That's regular Bethany to the Beast. The Beast is the true ending. I can do this. Hold on. Tomo would like to enter the office as well. I told you the whole family wants to be involved. Hello, Tomo. Welcome. Tomo, he's like the stealth assassin, man. He's right beside you 1 second, then you don't see him. He's all the way across the house. You close the door, and he's like, "Why'd you lock me out?" Anybody? Okay. Feels good to have, even if it's an every other day, feels good to have it. It feels good to be back. Still, fairly anecdotalist, let's just be honest. I've been feeling better. I guess we should just book a Virtues, like, by default, right? A few times, maybe. Baby, I've been feeling better, so I've gone to the grocery store. I've gone out and, ordered a sandwich to go and stuff like that. Have you noticed how, I don't know if this is a labor thing. I don't know if this is a Vancouver thing. I don't know if this is specifically an Omicron thing or some kind of combination of everything going on. Have you realized that every establishment on planet Earth right now, at least every food service establishment, is exclusively staffed at any given moment by one incredibly overworked 22-year-old trying to do absolutely everything by themselves? That's not, that should not be considered haterade, by the way. It's quite the opposite. It's both respect and also solidarity. I don't know if normally, that there's more people, but people are calling in sick, which is justifiable. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna smack you. Or if it's because... Wait, 1 second, the cat's just running by me here. Look, long story short, I just don't know. But, I have my hunch. I feel like every office I've had to go to, every, quick service food restaurant I've gotten takeout at, has been staffed by maybe, one person in the kitchen and then one incredibly overworked Gen Z or millennial just trying to hold the whole thing together by themselves at the front. It's crazy out there, man. Okay, take me down. Again, I'm not complaining. Because when I got a sandwich today for lunch, I was the first person in line. I felt bad for the people that were 2 or 3 people back, but also I'm like, man, it's rough out there. Just to be clear, for the workers, I can wait an extra second for my sandwich. If it's temporary, at least. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Haven't really been watching too much. I did watch a documentary about the last Blockbuster. I don't really look. I grew up with video stores, right? In case I don't know if you need a preamble. If you're not of the age to know what Blockbuster is/was. Blockbuster was an enormous movie rental store where you would go and you would pay. I mean, when I was a single-digit age, I feel like the prices were insane. It was like $8 to rent a movie for 24 to 48 hours if it was a new release. As the competition started coming in, they started to, feel that price pressure. They had $10 to rent 3 movies for 72 hours. But certainly, I have a lot of, nostalgia in the same way I think, people a generation older than me have, some nostalgia for, record stores. What the heck? I mean, I guess I'd rather have Dead Sea Scrolls. It works faster. And also, it doesn't require us to walk into enemies, I suppose. But I got a little nostalgia. There were Blockbusters in my hometown, but the big player was a Canadian chain called Jumbo Video that had free popcorn. Sometimes you'd go in there, the popcorn would be old, but you'd still get it because you're like, what the heck? I'm a little kid, free popcorn. Sometimes you would go in there, it would be fresh, it would be buttery, it would be salty. It was a dream come true. I'm not joking when I say that I've had better popcorn consistently. Sure. Sure. HP up, range down. Shot speed up, speed down. Okay, we kind of washed on the other one, but the HP up's amazing. I've had better popcorn from Jumbo Videos than the average movie theater experience, for sure. Because they knew you had options. At the theater, you're like, what are you going to do? You know? Get a chicken Caesar salad? I don't think so. It's 1998. You know, we got popcorn and sour Skittles. And that's it. Okay, we'll take Pupila Duplex. But, you know, I don't... Blockbuster, you know, I don't have any particular nostalgia for the chain itself. But, you know, the concept of a video store was kind of neat to learn more about the history. And about how, like, you know, originally, apparently, VHS tapes were priced at, like, $100 and something a pop. Just, you know, the studios would price them at that level because they didn't want people to buy VHS tapes instead of going to the theater. So they made them deliberately kind of, like, cost prohibitive, so you'd only buy movies if you like truly loved them. And then enterprising individuals said, well, you know what, why don't we just buy them for $100 and then rent them out for like $5 a pop, and we'll make our money back in a couple of months on each tape, maybe. And then did you know that the movie studios took the video rental stores to the Supreme Court of the United States over that? I had no idea. Even like the most boring thing on earth can have kind of a crazy history when you think about it, right? Or when you learn about it, I should say. I knew we were getting close to, like, you know, pure greed. We've had nothing but good pills. Well, you know, more or less. Got a little HP, but I don't really feel like playing the self-sacrifice room. I do feel like I might sneeze. I feel like I might... Don't worry, it was a dry one, but thank you. You ever notice how I feel like the word sneeze was designed to push you over the edge if you're about to sneeze? Just like something about those that EE sound hidden like your soft palate. Sure, why not? It feels like that can tip you over the edge. I mean, I'm not trying to be like bopped or whatever, but you get the idea. Bop is Twitch parlance, by the way, in case you're not familiar. Twitch parlance for, you know, somebody saying something that could be misconstrued as being lustful, or at least a double entendre, one might say. I'm doing well. Watched a lot of Sesame Street today. Baby's doing great. She's been taking some steps. You know what? I never realized before I was a parent how hard it is to actually, like, pick a date for milestones. You know, it seems so easy. First word, first steps, you know, but, like, you realize, I mean, at least we're, I wouldn't say struggling, but, you know, we're just trying to, you know, put a date to some of these events. I don't know what, oh, one of my wisps died, maybe, and did damage. That's amazing. Crystal ball, that's amazing. Telescope lens, that's kind of amazing, maybe. But first word is, like, it's a really tough one, because babies say words and they, like, mimic sounds before they even know what they're doing. So, you know, she was saying da-da. Excuse me. I definitely want Keeper Sack. And then, if we're gonna get Keeper Sack, we should probably get Piggy Bank. Oh, man. Oh, man, we're gonna be on the frickin' moon here. Why don't you give me... We don't know the pill. Why don't you give me one of these, okay? A little .003 speed upgrade. Repeating, of course. I don't know why I would use this on this room, but at least we got the wisp. But she was saying da-da, you know, when she was, like, 6 months old or something like that, right? But is that her first word? Or is her first word, like, the word she says when she knows the meaning? In which case, I'm not qualified to say it. Like, at some point, she knew what she was talking about most of the time. Help me. But it's not for me to judge, I think. I don't know. In the same, like... So she's been a little bit, I wouldn't say late, but later than early, for sure, to walk. She's soaking up so much information from Sesame Street. She's like, why would I risk getting out of this chair, you know? If I get out of this chair, you might... What comes next after walking? Jogging, then running. I'll just sit here and watch Sesame Street. I'm just an Elmo girl. I'm a just Elmo girl. I'ma just count my number. Count my bats is what the count does. But anyway, hold on. Scary. What the heck? We went sicko mode on it. It is a Tim Wakefield knuckleball. But she started to take some steps, but we're having like a debate, you know? Because she can walk, you know, well, I don't know how far she can walk, but she chooses to walk, you know, maybe like 10 feet in unaided in a single spurt, right? Does that mean she's walking, or is she just taking steps? If so, when did she take her first step? Was it when she toddled for the first time? When she took one step unaided? But it might have just been like getting her balance all, you know, stabilized. I don't know. It's just these things are so much fuzzier than I've been led to believe. I feel like it's like if you ask any parent, you're like, what was your daughter's first word? They're like, oh, it was like mushroom. So it was doggy, you know? I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't want to get into a debate, but I guess it's the same thing as like, you know, when someone asks you your favorite food. You don't actually come up with a canonical answer. You just come up with something that you believe is the answer, and then you run with it for the rest of your life. I'm not trying to be like, you know, insane about it. I'm just saying. I always thought there would just be like one day where, you know, she would go from not talking, and then she would look at me and be like, bridge. And I would be like, whoa, first word. But instead, you know, it's like a syllabic ladder that gets climbed, and, you know, is it mimicry? Is it deliberate communication? You know, who cares? You know, I guess that's the end of it. Who cares? Good point. Good point. Fair enough, but just something you might not have thought about. Let's put it that way. I'm getting way too greedy, but who cares, man? It's a good run. So if I'm going to be doing true ending, we got a pretty good setup for true ending right now. I think. We got decent HP. We got an item we can use multiple times to generate wisps. I don't think we need 100% of, like... I don't think we need wisps necessarily to win. Hold on. One of these was like Bob's brain, right? Like, where's my Ipecac shot? Sometimes it's just too convenient. That's incredibly nice, honestly. And do I get a charge? You shouldn't have. What the heck? It's incredible. Why would I use it? But still, we got 2 HP ups from the same second secret room. Anyway, take me down here. I think we're set up nicely. Especially just make sure you buy things from the shop to take advantage of Keeper's Elbow. We're off to the races. Like, this is a very solid position, man. But yeah, not too much anecdotally going on. Haven't really been, like, watching too much. I'm almost... Well, I've been watching Seinfeld whilst... Oh, dude, that's another HP up. I've been watching Seinfeld while, like, making thumbnails and setting videos for... month and a half, something like that. And I'm at season 8, which means there's only 1 season left. However, I also started on season 5. So, like, I got a ways to go, I think, before I finish with that. I know, people are like, when are you going to see the new Spider-Man? It's on the list. I don't know. I'm hoping in 2022. Oh, hold on. I mean, these are both great. A circle surrounds you. 7 tiers will orbit in it. Chance to catch enemy projectiles in orbit, or charm close enemies. I mean, I'll be honest, Venus sounds better. Saturn sounds cooler. Bitrate just went up like 20% without a doubt. I'm hoping relatively soon there'll be... It's just, we gotta catch it while it's still in theaters, but with the way that things are going right now, it's possible that, like, Spider-Man will be in theaters for, like, 8 months. Because it's making a lot of money, but also because maybe some movies might get delayed with restrictions and stuff like that, or maybe not. We need the baby to have been in daycare for a little bit and be relatively stable. Then, Cade and I will be sneaky. We'll take a day off from streaming, or a morning off at least, to go see like a 7:55 a.m. showing of Spider-Man. Oh man, that's the stuff. I don't think they have 7:55 showings, but either way. And that's about it, man. You're pretty much seeing it. I mean, it's January, right? What do you think of when you think of January? I feel like I criminally underappreciate the holiday season until I'm in January and I realize that it's all the negatives of the Christmas season, namely like, I'm not trying to be like an extreme hater, but like bad weather. It's like, it snowed possibly, and we've had some winter storms since I've lived in Vancouver, not terrible ones, but I think it snowed more in Vancouver between like December 23rd and today, which is January 8th, than it snowed in total the entire time that I've lived here. It snowed every other day for like 2 weeks now, and it's not sticking to the ground, and I know how to drive in the snow for the most part, at least. Like, you know, I mean, let me give you the people that grow up in driving in winter conditions, they always want to act like there's some kind of magic to it. There's not that much magic to it, you know. You drive a little slower. Preferably, you should have winter tires as well, which I'm very glad that we took the time to put on earlier in the year than we thought was necessary. It ended up being pretty important, actually. I'm gonna be a little crazy here. I'm gonna blow myself up. I'm actually the smartest man on earth accidentally. This then allows me to buy more things. We could use this a couple times. Okay, so it's fine. We're just generating wisps right now. Secret room, maybe? And then, like, the only other thing is, I mean, just in general, if you get stuck, you got problems, for sure. That's not really helpful, I'll admit, but if you get stuck, you got problems. But, you know, you want to use slow, smooth acceleration. You know, where you get into trouble is if you're driving a rear-wheel drive Lamborghini Aventador, you try to turn right, you hit the gas a third of the way through the turn, you're going to fishtail. You know, you're going to find yourself going through the second floor of Milestones. Give me booster pack. It's a nice little damage booster here. You know what? Give me credit card. I guess it'll screw up my ability to pay for anything with Keeper's Elbow, but I think that's actually totally fine. We'll just take the stuff that they got and be pretty pleased, I think. Fool card? No, we're gonna get one anyway. And then, like, I don't think this is ever gonna save your life, okay? But if you're driving and you're in the snow and you lose traction, if you're not prepared, your first instinct is going to be hit the brakes. But as soon as you hit the brakes, you've lost the ability to have influence over your vehicle in that moment, okay? I recognize I'm sounding like a dad. Sometimes people say that to me. NL, you sound like such a dad right now. Thank you for noticing. I am a dad. It'd be weird if I started to sound like somebody who doesn't have a kid. You should probably be much more freaked out. If I was like, yo, check out the rager I went to this weekend, wouldn't you be like, hey, don't you have like a 15-month-old daughter? I'd be like, yeah, she had a babysitter. Come on. Addicted. What was I thinking? Send it. Send it. Anyway, you're going to want to hit the brakes. You don't hit the brakes. You calm down. You look where you want to go, and you kind of like, you apply some steady, smooth acceleration, but also you kind of like pump the gas a little bit. Like you hit a little bit of acceleration, then you back it off. Then you hit a little bit of acceleration, you back it off, so on and so forth. You do that, that's the best way to give yourself the best chance to get some traction moving forward. Anyway, so it hasn't been like that bad, but you got to admit, like, I don't know if we can double up on puberty here. It's maybe how I ended up getting back here at the age of 15. No, thank you. We definitely want Queen of Hearts. We just have to be careful when we use it, because if you use it on the beast fight, I'm pretty sure that it'll just drop all the hearts into the lava, and we'll have no chance. But January's really like December, but like minus all the good parts. That's truly how I see it. I mean, what's the best part of January on average? New Year's Day, maybe? Like the first 10 seconds of the new year, perhaps? And even I feel like New Year's is one of those holidays that like got very sacrificed for COVID. Christmas, people are like, okay, we're just gonna be like as careful as possible, and we're gonna. So, like, I can't not see like my aunt for Christmas, right? New Year's, people were like, maybe I'll just chill at home. Not everybody, obviously, but I feel like that's one people were more willing to be like, we can pass up on New Year's for another year. That's it though. Like what else is January like? I just don't like the item, honestly. What else is January like known for? It's my wife's birthday. You know, 1 out of 12 of you roughly watching this will probably have your birthday in January as well. I'm not interested in getting into the statistics. I mean, January has 31 days, and there are months with 28. So it's likely that January probably has more. Plus, January is, you know, the human gestation period is more like, it's like 9.5 months. So it's like, it's more like 10 months on. So, you know, you're looking at March. I'm just saying, I'm just asking questions. I'm not trying to cause problems, okay? But it wouldn't surprise me if there were a few extra January babies because of a higher than average rate of conception on St. Patrick's Day in March. I think my timeline's a little off, but I'm just, look, I'm not saying that that's the way it should be. I'm not even saying that's the way it is, but wouldn't it be funny if it were, is what I'm saying. I think that's what I'm saying. Oh, he's saying it. Okay, we need a Fool card. Just funny to think about. But January, I mean, it's like, it's nothing, man. February, also, like, pretty bad. By the way, I have a little extra privilege in this, okay? Because I'd rather have the money. Would I? I don't know. I already bought out the shop, I guess. But, I have a November birthday. November is maybe not a top tier month. Depends where you live, I think. But certainly, I think it would be considered at least in the upper half of months. It has an approaching holiday season. It has my birthday. And for anybody watching this who's American, which is like, you know, maybe 40% of the audience, if not a little bit more, it has American Thanksgiving. Though, you know, it's a very well-liked holiday, especially in the United States, of course. But, like, February, like, I'm talking from a position where I'm a big fan of my month, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But if you were born in February, I'm not trying to insult, you know, you. I'm not trying to insult, I'm merely insulting your birth month. Let's put it that way. I mean, what does February have? Literally, Groundhog Day, which is, don't at me, is not a real day. That is a holiday that should not have survived the invention of, like, consumer radio, much less the internet. Rip to all the viewers in Punxsutawney, okay? I apologize, but it's just, come on, man. We got, like, meteorologists now. I'm not trying to put on, like, a false dilemma. Like, people will be like, oh, whoa, well, let's wait and see what the groundhog says about winter. I literally don't think anybody's like that. So why are we even doing this? It's just a weird tradition. If you're from one of the Groundhog Day places, then more power to you. But, you know, I'm just like a guy. I refuse to let one small town in Pennsylvania dictate how the rest of the world sees February 2nd, right? That's just a work day. To me, at least. I mean, you go to work on Groundhog Day anyway. Even if you live in Punxsutawney. Okay, hold on. Give me a Joker card. Ooh, that's pretty good. I don't really, because we're going in the other direction, I don't really see the need to get one more of those at this point. I don't think we can get any of that either. Just need our Fool card. And then Valentine's Day. Now, I got nothing against Valentine's Day. You know, I'm married. It's a nice opportunity. You know, obviously things are kind of compromised in COVID. You can still do nice things for people you love, of course, to show them that you care. But it's a lot harder to, you know, get dinner reservations. You go out when you got a 1-year-old in a global pandemic, okay? However, I understand a lot of people do not really like Valentine's Day, and I think that's completely understandable. You know, some people don't like it because it reminds them of being single, and that's a problem for them. Some people don't like it because you shouldn't need a day to show somebody that you care. Some people, you know, just think it's a Hallmark holiday. etc., etc., it's not one of those holidays that people really go to bat for. The year doesn't start to really get good until like March, April, in my opinion. When the first Marvel movie of the year comes out, that's when you can finally be like, our long nightmare is over. In April, you got taxes, for sure, which is annoying. But you could also, like, I don't know. I'm not telling you how to live your life. You could just offload your taxes to January. It's already kind of a crap month anyway. You might as well double up on it, you know. It's just my 2 cents. Not telling. I mean, it's also. I understand wanting to delay it for as long as possible too. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking for my Fool card. Still looking for my Angel. I should have taken the one from ages ago, man. This is a disaster. I'm gonna be here forever. I can't see, man. We'll take a look though. Let's just do a sweep and clear. Sweep and clear. Anyway, I apologize because I know I do this bit like literally every year. But not all the months are created equal. Now, the great news is they mean different things to different people. Maybe you have a birthday in January and you're insulted by this, so be it. Maybe you have maybe you really like 2 out of 10 horror movies, and, you know, that's something I'm not going to try to take away from you. I'm just saying, you know, on average, January, February is not it. Very few people on Earth are out there going like, if I gave you the option straight up to trade your June for your January, or like my January for your June, would you give me an extra June to take my January? I don't think so. I know there's some people out there that are like, I love how pretty the snow is. Sure, okay. Give me 1 month of your summer and I'll give you 1 month of my winter. Nobody from the Southern Hemisphere, by the way. No Southern Hemisphere responders, please. Don't try to trick me. I don't think there's a Fool card. I think I've looked everywhere. I've put in an honest day's work here. I'm gonna give it one last pass. I've probably missed it on the screen 10 times. I would not be surprised. There it is. I'm just gonna tell you, like, you're so lucky. Because I was about to just take this Emperor card, beat this boss, finish the run. Maybe you would have preferred that. I always think, you know, because I'm like a glutton for punishment. It snowed a lot in Vancouver. People will make threads like, am I the only one who loves this weather? And I'm like, well, look, I'm glad someone's enjoying it, don't get me wrong, but I don't think many people are out there are like, oh, I hate the snow, it looks so ugly. Most people are like, oh, I hate the snow because I have to drive and it's a mess out there and it's like more dangerous as a result. But every time you say something like that, people will say like insane stuff. They'll be like, it's not more dangerous, just drive slower. And I'm like, you ever hear of like stats? Of course, with a slippery, it's more dangerous. Like, what? It doesn't have to be as dangerous as people are making it necessarily, but like, I don't know, why lie to yourself, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay, we'll take the damage upgrade. We will use the Fool card. Did I almost forget? Yes, because I was like, we're going to take the damage upgrade without remembering that we don't actually need it. And I left the Queen of Hearts behind, but that was laziness. That was laziness more than anything else. Let's play a game. It's called What's Being Printed in My Office right now. I look forward to telling you what's being printed in my office. It's sheet music. Okay, if you guess that, like honestly, that's gotta be like probably like a 2,000 to 1 payout. At first I thought it was like printed Wikipedia pages, and I was like, legitimately, I think my wife might have lost her mind. Then when I saw it was sheet music, I was like, okay. Is this XL? Oh, it's just second level. Okay. Do I hate being down here on the mausoleum? My chest? What happened? Something to do with where there's options? What options? Whatever it's called? I'm just gonna say it, man. They went too hard on the mausoleum. I'm taking the bombs. It's a mess down here. How could one human being be expected to keep all these data points in line? Like, are you seeing this? Anyway, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, thank you, thank you. I picked up the right thing. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got. Haven't been, you know, really watching much TV outside of Sesame Street. Although, I guess that in and of itself is kind of a vibe right now, right? Like, Elmo is popping off. He's trending on Twitter because he went off on Zoe for stealing his oatmeal raisin cookie in order to give to her pet rock, Rocco. I had seen some of the Rocco content. We gotta try, man. I had no idea that it was like... I thought it was like one episode where this happened, but apparently Zoe's been... Because, you know, I watched a compilation. Zoe's been harassing Elmo with her pet rock, Rocco, since literally like the 90s, man. That's crazy. I forget what this is. Is this Magic Skin? Book of Sin? I guess I'd rather have Book of Sin. I'm safe. I'm not owned. Okay, send me. I don't care for the bone heart. I mean, maybe I should, but I don't. I gotta say, like, nothing in... there was, like, an edited clip. But they only edited, like, camera zooms and stuff like that. There was an edited clip of, Zoe asking Elmo to, like, play with Rocco, and then every time that Zoe talks about Rocco, Elmo rolls his eyes and, like, gives the most exasperated look of all time. That's how you know, like, Sesame Street is, like, the NFL for puppeteers. Because, like, it's... some of the Muppets have, like, eyelids and stuff. I'm stupid, shouldn't have picked that up. But some of them have, like, Elmo is basically just, like... his eyes are just, like, two ping pong balls. They got a little bit of movement associated with them. I must be stupid, by the way, because I don't understand how I'm supposed to do this room right now. Okay. I can't believe we didn't get hit a second time, but, oh, I forgot we don't even have to fight a boss, so we can just use Chaos card on, like, probably the
Just get over it.
second phase of, the TV angel fight that I've forgotten the name of. But Elmo is literally like two reticulating ping pong balls. Like, it's crazy, but when Zoe says something like, hey, let's see what Rocco wants to do. And then Elmo just rolls his eyes and, like, opens his mouth. I'm like, I've made that look so many times during the LSS. That I'm like, this puppet, it made me feel something, man. They're doing a great job over there at Sesame Workshop. Anyway, those... I felt like this was one of the rare times... It's kind of sick, honestly. That, like, parent Twitter and normal Twitter could unite and be like, we're all talking about Sesame Street. It was kind of like... It was a watershed moment. I'm glad we all got to participate. I mean, I know I've said it before. I'm not messing. I'm not, like, ironically being like, oh, Paw Patrol's amazing. Like, legitimately, Sesame Street is goated, man. It's not a show that you would probably watch as an adult by yourself. Just because, you know, I mean, I know all the letters of the day, man. Like, they've never hit me with a letter where I've been like, oh, interesting choice. It's always been like, you know, the episode is about, like, rocks, and they're like, the letter of the day is R. And I'm like, oh, wow, real creative. What a bold decision you've made there. But it's, in the scope of kids' content, it's actually, like, it's smartly written, smartly filmed, and, like, designed to be actually, like, educational while also being entertaining. Whereas, like, some of the shows that come on, like, after Sesame Street that I, you know, maybe occasionally I don't turn the TV off fast enough. On your mark, get ready to race. 3, 2, 1, it's Blaze. Blaze and the Monster. It's just a show about, like, I'm not even saying it's bad. Like, it's no Sesame Street, right? Like, a show about anthropomorphic monster trucks, like, driving in races and stuff like that. Come on, man. I learned something now and then. Cookie Monster and Gonger on one of the episodes we watched today. needed to get vanilla bean in order to make popsicles, which are popsicles that are safe for dogs to eat. They went to a vanilla bean farm. I was learning stuff. I was going like, whoa, we gotta watch this show more often, man. Did you know, for example, that vanilla beans grow on orchid plants, but they have to be watched very diligently because they only bloom for one day, at which point the flower falls off and gets replaced with a vanilla bean? Then when they harvest the vanilla beans, they look just like green beans. They gotta dry them out for like several months. And then they turn their, telltale, like, kind of dark brown, and that's when they get sent to the grocery stores. It was right before they went to the vanilla bean farm. I was like, maybe I'll find out why it costs $20 for a single bean. After I was watching it, I was like, this is literally magic. I still won't buy it just because it's like, I don't use that much vanilla to justify it. I'll just use like the cheap extract. I'm sure it makes a huge difference, don't get me wrong, but I'm making Belgian waffles like once every 3 months or something like that. But either way, man, I was like, dude, they're getting their money's worth when you buy one of these. Like this thing, there's a ton of work that goes into it. This episode is dedicated to all the vanilla bean farmers out there. Keep up the great work. Just want you to know you're appreciated. I mean, there's some stuff in the grocery store that when you look at it, you go like, why? That's just an insult, man. You go like, why is this so expensive? Like Tropicana orange juice, for example. And then there's some stuff in the grocery store that you look at it and you go, I completely understand why that's expensive. Like, I always laugh. I mean, I get it, like, the price of meat in particular has gone up in the last couple of years, particularly the last year, but whenever people are like, oh, meat's, like, way more expensive than it should be, I'm like, this is like a living creature. It's like, it was born and then, like, lived on Earth. It took up space. It ate every single day, like, and then it was murdered. And I say that without like trying to attach like a value judgment to it. I eat meat. I try to eat less, but I do eat meat. Every time I watch a nature documentary, I'm like an inch away from becoming a vegetarian yet again, but it hasn't happened yet. But I'm at that like cognitive dissonance level. I know I talk about it like 2 times a year, but I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I really should be a vegetarian. But then I'm just like, I'm not like, steak's too delicious. I'm like, but it's more convenient for me right now. But I'm telling you, I recognize, I think that, I don't want to say I'm on the wrong side of history, but like, I think that I'm a victim of inertia. Let's put it that way. I definitely, if anything, like I look at vegetarians and I'm like, envious is not the right word. I guess this is like, you shouldn't admit this on the internet because, maybe it's changed in the culture in the last few years, but certainly for a while it was like, how do you know someone's a vegan or a vegetarian? They'll tell you, haha. Like, why not? People's dietary choices don't really offend me all that much, but I'm admirable, or I'm admirant, I should say, of the vegetarian lifestyle choice. Because I think, like, for the most part, like, for environmental reasons, and also, like, animals are cute in the first place, like, it feels like the right thing for my personal values to do. That being said, I did have a chicken sandwich for lunch, but I'm just saying on the horizon, one day it'll be there. Okay, let's use the devil card first. You gotta shoot the TV. I don't know if I remembered that. I always feel like vegetarianism is one of those things. I know we were talking about stuff at the grocery store, but I'm like, man, you can get a steak for like, $8 or something like that. Maybe a little bit more, especially if you're getting a higher quality cut. But like that thing, it was like a living creature. I'm not saying it should be $100, per fillet, but that seems pretty cheap. That's like the same price as a couple of quarts of milk or something like that. Good chaos card. I always feel like the reason people online are rude to people who have, plants-only diets, let's say, is the same reason that like sometimes people get annoyed when like one of their friends starts dieting or working out. It's not that you're actually like that strong opinioned about it. It's more that like someone taking stock of their life and then making a change serves almost as kind of like a shot across the bow. That's like, oh, you think you're better than me just because you're like doing this thing? And I don't think most vegetarians feel like that, to be honest with you. But look, I don't know. I'm not part of it. I know many vegetarians. Malf's been vegetarian probably for like 6 months now. Chibley's a vegetarian. I think he's been a vegetarian for like a decade, but he always says if I don't PB Super Mario 64 on this run, he's going to start eating meat again. So I don't know, really. It's the kind of joke you could only make, I think, if you were committed to the cause. Can you send that bomb out? I don't want it. I'm insane. I want it. Oh, I thought. Whoa, 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 whoa. Careful. Holy cow. We just hit him with the Zangief lariat. That's kind of cracked, man. We caught some. We're genuinely doing no damage, huh? Like, is it all Little Horn? That's the only thing keeping us in it here? How dare you? Anyway, basically, I don't know. I'm just causing problems for myself. What I meant to say is good vibes only. I really don't care about, like, anybody else's diet. It's the same as, like, I always feel about, like, media, man. People, and I think it's a phase you maybe go through at parts of your life, for sure, when, like, your whole personality is driven, by and large, by, like, the media choices you make. But, like, people will be like, man, imagine... Could you ever, like, you know, marry somebody who likes Nickelback? I'll be like, yeah, it sounds like way less annoying than being married to you. Constantly, like, what are you listening to? You know, you'd be like, come on, I'm just trying to enjoy myself. Every time I have a media choice, I'm being, like, audited here for, like, oh, you know, this only has, like, a, in Robert Christgau's Paz and Jop poll, this came 35th, but you haven't listened to 1 through 34 yet. You're like, man, come on, just chill out. It's just a song. Look at the size of this thing. Holy cow. Useless. So I don't know if we're gonna win. I think that taking soy milk called it into question a little bit more. But I also think this was kind of a fun run to take soy milk on. We had, you know, Little Horn, a couple of luck upgrades from pills. Like, we're kind of... shouldn't be feeling too bad, I think. I'm lost in the sauce. I just wanted to make sure I was, like, possibly doing a little damage. I know that's a lot to ask. Nice try. I'm insane. Come on, man. I actually think, if I had to guess, and this is not sandbagging, because I like, don't really care. I'm having fun. We've got some conversation in here. But I think I'll probably die on this run. I'm a little pessimistic about my chances. Let's see if we get a payout from little Chad. Okay, that's helpful. I just think, like, our DPS is kind of anus right now, right? Like, it's kind of not very good. I'm hoping, you know, because this enemy is, like, the easiest enemy to hit in the game, I'm hoping we get lots of, like, Little Horn payouts, I guess, but that's about it. Anyway, so that's what's going on in my life. Basically, like, nothing, which is actually totally fine. At least, you know, I got a little nasal at points in this episode, but, like, whatever has been afflicting us for a couple of weeks is at least now in the denouement. And, like, I think it's even past the denouement. This is not the Avengers eating, you know, chicken shawarma. This is, like, fine, I'll do it myself. We're in the post-credit scene of this illness. How did I not take damage? Holy cow. Now, you know, we've been through it enough that I'm not going to say, oh, I remember how naive of me after being sick for the 3rd time in 1 month. I said, at the end of this, they're going to harvest my blood and make, like, some kind of miracle cure-all that's a vaccination to all respiratory illnesses. That was the last vestige of pre-baby NL, thinking that he still lived in that world. Where if you got sick once, you were usually like pretty good for maybe like at least a couple months afterwards. Nah, man. These kids they're petri dishes for germs. They're cultivating all new sorts of everything variants. Not just COVID, but I don't know. I think I got dosed with anthrax or something like that. Anyway, probably not. I think I'd be dead. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the episode today. We'll be back when we're back. I'm keeping the schedule as loose as we can, but I'm committed for sure. And I'll see you next time. See ya.